And welcome to House Rolls. We are
Howdy.
joined by another cast of three tonight. But a brief summation of last week's session, which was only like 5 days ago for us. Um, you guys had woken up and through a number of different means joined together at the pit fight where there was rumor of some handsome half elf facing down a pit dragon. And with all of you there, you had discovered a few things about the individuals who were there. August had a brief interaction with Gwendolyn, a school friend from school way back when. Then Zunrith had an interaction with Medora, who gave information about, or supposedly is going to trade information with you later. You had a number of combat situations with six different individuals who seem to be from Ugnaught, who seem to be attacking August and Lucian to some degree. The chief member of this group, Jerome, you left behind as he was asleep for the vast majority of the combat, and you all had safely gotten out aside from Lincoln, who rolled a really low stealth check and was confronted with an image of Breck through one of the alleyways as you ran by. With August on top of the pit dragon Curlin, you all had headed back to the ship that you came to town in. It is about halfway through the 13th day of Yonadil, the second month of the year, and you all had hunkered down and taken a little bit of a short rest to recover some hit points. You had taken some refuge there. Ray had visited you all briefly, and you all are kind of just in there nursing your wounds. You could tell Curlin, the monstrous dragon-like form that he is, kind of nuzzles up to you, August. Um, and I want you and what is your reaction to this?
Um, Trying to maintain personal space.
Okay. How do
What
you
is with
do
the
so?
camera?
Do you push away? Do you like scooch
I
away?
I scooch away.
Okay.
Do
Um,
the polite thing first.
okay.
Just scooch.
All right. Curlin seems to catch on to your body language. And as you kind of meet eyes for a brief moment, there's something familiar about these eyes that you can't quite
Oh,
get your head around.
if this is like another freaking dragon friend, I don't need any more dragons in my life, and I'm gonna be trying to figure out what's wrong with my camera.
Okay.
It keeps glitching, and I've already tried a different USB port. Not really sure what's going on.
Okay, you're good. Um, figure like go ahead, take that adventure. We'll shift over to Zunrith and Lincoln. What are you guys doing? You watch as this kind of giant calloused, largely just quadruped, kind of thick dragon-like creature, um, almost becomes affectionate, like a not like a dog per se, but in a more bestial manner. Um, with everything around you, with the wounds that you're kind of staunching, Medora kind of sitting next nearby. Where are you all at? What are you doing?
Um, Lincoln is basically just finding a room in the ship to, I don't want to say hide out, but just kind of resting to regain his strength and reflect on what happened that entire time. Also to regain his spell slots.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least in the immediate, he is reflecting on the vision that he had um, and just seems to be in deep thought. He's not immediately in anyone's proximity, but if anyone were to walk by him or check on him in the room, then they'd see him like that.
Okay. As you're kind of diving into your brain, you feel this almost suction, this mental suction that just kind of pulls and tugs you. And what turns into kind of this thoughtful mulling over of your vision of Breck turns into this semi painful experience. And you realize that the effects of the basin that you absorbed information from is likely kind of taking effect on you. and you can feel parts of your brain start to almost like short fuse and fire off in weird ways. And over the next few minutes, you get kind of these withdrawal symptoms. You have disadvantage on intelligence checks for the next 8 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah. So anyone who walks in would probably see him just basically almost pulling his horns, because this is intense pain that's just evacuating out of his skull all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, uh, he's he'd also be groaning, but trying to be as quiet as possible, not trying to draw too much attention to himself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Zunrith, what are you up to?
Right now, Zunith is just kind of trying to just get situated in his own bunk, and just he's blocking everything out.
Mm-hmm.
He's preoccupied with the fact that his markings have faded, and that that like he's kind of zoned out. Put it
Okay.
kind of bluntly, I guess.
So we've got pained and zoned out, we've got zoned out, and we've got repulsed by dragon creature thing.
Yeah. After after a while, if you want to fast forward, so there's actual interaction and story, Lincoln will eventually leave the room, and he'll just kind of poke his head at Zunith's room. He won't open the door, but if it's ajar or something, then he'll just peek in and make sure he's okay. Otherwise, if it's closed, he wouldn't disturb him. And then he would then follow up and check in on August and looking at I'm sorry, what's the name of the dragon?
Yeah, so just to clarify a few things, there's really only like one private room, and I remembered because there was this tradesies back and forth between August during the day and Zunrith during the night of like retreating.
Oh,
And so there's really only like one private room, so I don't know if you all just kind of like found the common room essentially aboard the ship, just, like a cabin space that you all are just kind of hunkered down in, because the interaction beforehand was you all were kind of helping each other heal and staunching
right.
some wounds. So
Yeah, my apologies. I forgot about that.
no, you're
Yeah,
good.
he would just be he'd be in the common area. He wouldn't presume to get a private room, so he would just go in the common area, and so different crew members would probably see him kind of like writhing
Yeah.
in pain for a while.
Hmm.
Um, but then yeah, he would check to see while walking by of the private room if it's ajar. Then he'd poke his head in and see if there's anyone in there.
Who do you think has claimed the private room between August and Zunrith?
Well, I mean, out of character, I'd assume that Zunith did because August was with the pit dragon, um, but yeah, just as far as what Lincoln is thinking, he's just checking to see if people are in there, if there's someone who's hurt or someone who
Mhm.
needs to talk.
Yeah. Zunrith and August, are you guys in the common space? Are you in the where are you guys placed? Kind of on the ship.
Anywhere with a bed. Zunrath is kind of just exhausted because he almost just straight up died, and now he's just trying to rest somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
August kind of passed out wherever she sat.
Okay. We'll just say you all kind of went to the common room, especially since you guys were all kind of helping each other heal and whatnot. But Lincoln, you do make your way over to the private room. Inside, you find Ray looking out kind of a porthole window. His darker complexion with kind of these this gold tinted white wings. As this is a winged elf that you all have met before.
Right.
Kind of turns around. Did you all make sure that you weren't followed?
Well, no, we retreated to the only place that we felt was safe.
Great. Well, you all are troubled enough. I'm gonna try and go deal with this. Maybe grab a few of the others. I'll be back in a moment.
What's going on?
He kind of just gestures to the porthole window.
He'll look outside.
You can see there are a few individuals. Among them, you know most a halfling family. That looks to be really angry and confused and sad. There's a lot of emotions. You would say there's a collection of probably around 8 people. Some of which you might recognize in passing from the brawl. Others of whom you don't recognize. And they're just kind of like coming out and they're talking, and they seem to be talking to Captain Bellamy.
Okay. None of the Uganotians?
No. I'm pretty sure you guys slaughtered all of them except for Jerome.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Jerome is one, so.
Yep. Jerome is not there.
Okay. Yeah, so he'll just shake his head and say, "All right, I'll go out there too."
Okay.
So he'll follow Ray outside.
Okay. Ray kind of goes outside with you and brings about 2 other members kind of to, just give some backup to poor Bellamy out there alone. Who's just kind of explaining, look, I don't know, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of these people that, who are they? And, the crowd starts to boil up and say, oh, there's an elf and a half-elf and a drow. There's a drow. And there's lots of like mumbling. And you can see at the word drow that there are people in the windows of the nearby houses that are beginning to look out like a little bit in fear. Like, oh, that's not good. They come here ready to take our things and destroy us and kill us. And they just go on and on about these terrible, terrible drow. And you can see that several people in the crowd are definitely a little bit more fearful of them. But would you like to say anything?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
So he's basically going to take Captain Bellamy's lead and just kind of let him do the talking since he's a captain also. So yeah, he's just going to stand off and behind him and just let him kind of handle the conversations.
Okay.
Unless if someone speaks with him directly or Bellamy asks him something.
Yeah, you kind of keep an eye on things. Bellamy turns to one, and one of them looks towards you. Like, and him! And he had darkness coming out of him like some demon. And some people are like pointing to you, and like you can see about 3 or 4 of them go, it is you. And they start to kind of try and make their way over. What do you want to do as they try to make their way over to grab you?
He's just going to put his hands up defensively. He's not going to be aggressive towards these people. Last thing he wants to do is feed into their paranoia that he's actually dangerous.
Okay.
So he'll just kind of put his hands up defensively, and if they grab him, then they grab him.
Okay. Some of the about the 2 people that Ray kind of brought out with him kind of try to like stiff arm and keep people off of you. This is very much like casual, like commoner brawl type shit here. One of them kind of gets through. You can see what looks to be probably 17 year old 18 year old half elf looking individual kind of comes through and just kind of like tries to thrust you in the stomach. Go ahead, and I'm just gonna say, since you're not defending, I'm gonna say that is gonna hit.
That's fair.
Takes 2 bludgeoning damage as you feel like maybe a little bit of an unhealthy bend in your ribs inward. You like that?
No.
Not so tough now. Another one kind of breaks through and goes over and like tries to punch you. Do you defend?
I mean, now that he's been alerted that they're getting aggressive towards him, he would absolutely try to move out of the way.
Okay. You take the dodge action, so
Sure.
we'll do that. You know, a couple of them try to get you down. And it just kind of begins to build up. You hear things shouted through the crowd, "Tieflings just as bad as drow." And a number of just like slurs being thrown your way as this kind of just evolves and evolves. Do you ever fight back, or do you just kind of let people wail on you?
I mean, he'd take the dodge action, but no, he would not strike back or attack
Okay.
anyone in retaliation.
How many hit points do you have left?
33.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you can take quite a hefty beating.
Yeah,
Oof.
I mean, this was before I knew just how bad the combat was going to be. So one time he took a little bit of damage. He cast Healing Light on himself, and then I used hit dice for my short rest. So
Yeah.
I was at full hit points.
Yeah. So you get about three to four people on you at any given time over the next 30, 40 seconds. And these aren't trained warriors, but they do hit you on occasion. They kind of beat you down about 16 hit points over some time. You find yourself obscured at one point, and after about 30 seconds, Ray like flies up into the air, says, "Enough!" And he beats his wings, and you can see like this golden glimmer kind of shimmer out from them as he casts Gust of Wind. Several of them are blown back away from you. And they kind of make their way off into the town as none of them are prepared to deal with magic from this shining, golden winged creature. But you can hear a number of just another tack on of winged elves just as bad as they go into the city. With that, you are kind of there sitting on the ground. You've got, a couple of different aches and pains. You're definitely going to be bruised here likely soon.
Already with a migraine.
What?
Already with a migraine too.
I know, yeah. Oh, it's not going well for you, my friend. You're just aching from the inside out.
Yeah, he'll slowly push himself up to a kneeling position and just mumble to Ray, "Thank you."
It's fine. Just get on board and try to keep a low profile. We'll keep an eye out here.
Very well. And he'll kind of hobble and limp his way back to the ship after getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. You make your way into kind of the common area. Before you leave, Ray kind of nods to the others and says, "I'll take first watch. Go inside. Take a breather." You get into the room, and I would like everybody to make a perception check.
Nope. 4.
11.
Okay.
Oh,
Zunrith?
baby.
10.
10. Okay. August, you hear some muffled thumping sounds. It kind of sounds like something is in the wall. But nothing beyond that at the present moment. Lincoln, you return to the room, and you guys have the space to engage with. August, I know are you just kind of conked out for a while? Okay. You did finish
Very
a
much
short
so.
rest.
I'm
Past the short
taking a
rest?
long rest.
Okay. All right. Starting a long rest at noon. Why not? It's that kind of
I
day.
don't feel good. I'm basically knocked out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What are the rest of you up to?
also trying to take a long rest, but this is basically Zunrath's normal sleep time anyway. So, like,
Yeah.
it's bedtime.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Gosh, I feel like I'm I'm monopolizing the camera. My apologies. But yeah, Lincoln, um, he'll just kind of, um, with the different crewmates there. Well, actually, um, Lincoln will go over to Lucian, who I am arbitrarily deciding is not taking a long rest, and he's just going to sit by Lucian, and he will say, "Does the name Jerome sound familiar to you?"
Cocked. Okay. Did you get a last name?
No, but he seemed to be quite familiar with you and your sister.
Was that the stable boy? And Lucian kind of looks over to August. Is like, Jerome, wasn't he one of our stable boys?
I'm snoring.
Okay. And
Real
kind of looks...
cartoony, you know, honk shoe, honk shoe.
And Lucian kind of looks back.
Honk
Likes to you, Lincoln. Yeah, I believe that's right. It's been a long time, but I could see that individual possibly being from there. Notice the Ugnaught crest. Can't escape that.
Yeah, he was under the impression you were dead, because he seemed quite surprised by the announcement of your name. But before your name was announced, he stared at you quite a bit, saying that you looked like someone that he knew.
Well, I was heir to the dukedom at one point. You know. And then I was adopted by the Baron. I mean, the story practically puts itself in headlines.
But somehow they got news that he had passed away, and I guess that is what confuses them. Why would they think that you're dead?
Well, I'm sure once I disappeared from the Baron, he sought to bury all accounts of my living. There have been a number of... Ugnaught is a place full of rumors about the Baron, about his family, about everyone. So it doesn't surprise me that there was a rumor about why I disappeared.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. 11. Lucian seems to be being upfront with you.
Okay.
Best as you can tell.
Okay. Alright, well, I had posed as one of the guards, and they mentioned that they would try to just grab you and August, and they were willing to try to bribe the innkeeper as well, just to have access to your room. So they're pretty dedicated in obtaining you. But for what measure, I don't know. But judging by how violent they were, I'd say that it was not it was not a welcome home committee.
No, I'm sure that the Baron has spun a tale about us. And he kind of takes some of the wine that he has stored up and sips on it. red and offers you some.
Sure. Thank you. So he'll sip some of the wine too.
Kind of plugs it back up. Sets it to the side. We are likely to run into more of these problems as we go. Seems like all of us are wanted somehow, except maybe Zunrith. Other than for being a drow.
Yeah, that would appear so. But yes, whatever you and August need, I'm happy to help.
Good to know, but why?
Alfig asked me to.
Some fancy magical unicorn in the sky wants us alive. Interesting.
Well, he says that the goals you are hoping to accomplish coincide with goals for the greater good.
Well, ridding the world of the Baron is certainly one great good.
That is what it sounds like, and to be quite honest, after spending a few years in prison, it's nice to have a purpose anyways.
Purpose is what drives us forward. Well said. Well,
Yeah.
I see that our two elven members have fallen asleep. I think that's probably our cue too. Take a rest while we can.
Yeah, I had the crap beat out of me outside.
So
Saw
I don't
that
usually play elves, and I remembered we don't sleep.
We can sleep.
You
we
can
just
sleep.
Don't have to.
You just don't. Yeah.
So Lucian's probably real miffed because he knows this is a choice.
Turns to you, Lincoln, is like, you know, elves aren't supposed to sleep, right?
Yes, I know that.
I think they're avoiding us.
I mean, if I could fall asleep right now, I would too. I don't blame them.
What's ailing you?
Just I'm concerned about a lot of things. I'm of course concerned about you and August, but there's also my brother whose power has grown quite a bit faster compared to me. And I feel one day it's going to come to a head where I'll have to fight him on my own. And then there's Mahar, who my heart aches for her. She's a different kind of prisoner now, with her indentured servitude to the Mistress of the Vale, and I want to try to break her out of her prison just as she tried to break me out of mine.
Noble cause. Something worth fighting for.
That's my other purpose.
Once we get out of Camelot and follow our whims to go do something to the Baron, we should look into that. Don't be afraid to bring it up.
I'll be sure to do so. But I guess the first step is, how do we get out of here then?
Well, either the dragon's killed, or the dragon leaves, or, well, breaks up and eats us all. Breaks in and eats us all. So, suppose we could try to figure out how to help kill it, although it seems far beyond our purview.
That's true, but I guess that raises a different question. There seems to be a bond between your sister and this dragon. What happens if she gets affected by this?
We will need to talk to her about that in the morning, I'm sure, or rather the late evening, as it looks like it's going to become. I'm
Very well.
concerned. We'll address that in the morning. For now, I think some sleep would be... will do, at least for me. And you can see, like he is scraped from the creature. He's, bruised all over. He's kind of holding his ribs on the side. He's probably got a couple bruised, if not broken. It kind of leans over to you. Ugh. Not sure how I feel about that, thing being in here with us, but it seems peaceful, and, when push came to shove, it helped us out.
Oh, I agree. Seems to have, for something that is battle-worn, it seems to have a good temperament, and for whatever reason, it has a particular kinship with your sister as well.
And as you say that, the dragon kind of comes over a little bit more warily, but does point itself towards Lucian. And it doesn't nuzzle, but it kind of traipses around. And you watch as Lucian's eyes kind of scan its body. Would you like to do so as well?
Sure.
Okay. Give me an investigation or perception check, your choice.
I will do perception because investigation would be at disadvantage.
Okay.
And I might as well have just done investigation with disadvantage because I got an 8.
If actually, you know what? This is a great opportunity. If you want to roll investigation, Maud still has some restore balance uses left from combat, which will get rid of your disadvantage.
Oh, alright. Alright, I'll do that then.
Maud kind of sends over eyes gleaning that greenish blue. You can still feel a little bit of bolster in your mind.
Thank you very much. That is a 17.
17. Okay. With the 17, as you glance over the creature's body, you notice 2 brands. One of them is pristine, and not at least obviously identifiable. You would have to roll a history check to identify it. But the other one you've recently come into contact with, and it's almost smudged, as if the creature was moving when it was branded. You can see a smudged crest of Ugnut in the creature.
I'll do the history check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Still decent, 14.
14. The 14. The other one, it looks in the style that you've seen a number of histories, and you've done some research on, the world surrounding Valenost, even though that's primarily where you've spent, a lot of your education. But you've come across these various sigils and various crests. The one on here, you're not able to identify it specifically, but it does seem to be of a Camelot design. So within the Kingdom of Camelot, could be from any of the 3 cities. It could be from a faction that bases itself in Camelot, any number of things. So, just vaguely Camelot is what you get the feeling from this.
Gotcha. Okay. Lincoln will kind of pick up on the responsiveness of the pit dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Can you understand what we're saying? Can you stomp your claw once for yes and 2 for no? Well, stomp your claw once for yes.
Thumps the ground.
Okay. All right. Fine then. 1 for yes and 2 for no. Do you know these two people? Gesturing to Lucian and August.
Thumps once.
Do they know who you are?
Kind of looks to the two of them and stomps twice. Thump, thump.
Maybe I asked the wrong question. Should they know who you are?
Kind of, it kind of spent some time pondering the question. And go ahead and give me an insight check.
Sure. Five.
Stomps twice, but it seems very hesitant as it does so.
Okay. Do you know these two from when they lived in Huguenot?
Basically, like, kind of hops up a little bit. Not so much like a child, but like just with like emphatic yes.
Okay, okay. Um, that's interesting. Trying to think of some good yes or no questions, if you can think of any, Lucian.
Lucian looks like he's passed out, like kind of airplane, leaning up, kind of like head slightly to one side, has found like a little bit of a pillow, and just conked out, non-responsive.
Did you recognize Jerome, the person who is trying to take Lucian?
Once.
Okay. Lucian remembered him as a stable boy. Is he remembering the same person?
You get kind of a soft nod and a single stomp. And you can see this doesn't require an insight check. There's almost like a frustration with this creature. Like they want to communicate more, and they seem almost inhibited by their nature. Not even physically, but mentally. There's like there's a lack of focus in the eyes, and then like the occasional like dilation as they really try and like hone in on trying to communicate.
Okay. Well, in that case, since I have my spell slots back, I am going to cast Comprehend Languages.
Oh. Okay. All right. You cast Comprehend Languages. And
Can we put the description out there?
oh man. So this creature can't, oh man. The way I've written this creature out is they can't actually speak any languages, not even Draconic. So I'm afraid that as awesome as I would love to get that information over, that spell is not going to quite cut it. As this creature is communicating by nondescript growls, largely, at this point.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. It was worth a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought I could make this easier for you.
At this point, you feel the as you kind of like lean into your head a little bit, the creature kind of looks towards you, noting the kindness that you've shown it, and kind of sits next to you, and kind of like nuzzles up against you a little bit, kind of like a big lapdog that kind of pushes its weight into you a little bit,
right.
Too much for comfort, and just kind of and just like lets it collapse next to you.
um, he he'll lightly pat it on the head, as it's nuzzling up against him, and after a moment of thinking, he says, "Do you know the alphabet?"
Looks to you, thump once.
Okay, so um, Lincoln will get up and he's going to look around for a large canvas or large piece of paper.
Okay.
Something, if there's something available.
For the sake of brevity, you kind of look around the ship. You take about 10 minutes, and eventually, you run into Ray, who kind of retires from his watch, sends somebody else to kind of watch the rest, and it kind of assists you in finding the any sort of canvas that you could use. He finds kind of a charcoal and a spread of what looks like really aged parchment, which is something. And you make your way back. However, at this point, the dragon Curlin has kind of just fallen asleep. And you get kind of that the mental gymnastics that they were doing was just a little hard for them to do consistently.
Sure. All right. He will make note of that for later,
Okay.
but then he'll just kind of sit down next to it, and since it gave an effort to like nuzzle with him, he'll just try to like not cuddle with it, but he'll like sit and lean against it and just kind of share that space with him.
Okay. You do so. You notice the body is particularly rough. It is very, very calloused. There are a few patches of scales that are a little inconvenient, but you've probably slept, on worse.
Yeah, absolutely, in prison.
So
It's all good.
But the breath maybe from a friendly beast of some kind, perhaps is comforting to you as you find respite. You all sleep for a while. August and Zunrith kind of waking up first, as the first to start, and also not needing to sleep the whole time. What do you guys trance at all, or?
At one point, if I can tell that Zunrith is awake, I'm not going to open my eyes, but I'm going to mumble. Do you want to have a heart-to-heart about our tragic backstories, or...
No, not particularly, but something's on your mind. You never talk to me.
I was just being facetious.
Insight check on that one.
Go ahead.
It's a 22.
Yeah, that's gonna beat mine. She was definitely like being sarcastic when she said it, but there's also kind of
a nugget.
know, I wouldn't protest if you did. Like I'm covering up that I have emotional needs by being a sarcastic bitch.
Oh, I hate these things. Okay. You share one small thing, and I will share one small thing back.
It's a stupid idea. I'll go first. One small thing. Yeah, the Baron, he liked hunting non-humans for sport, and he sometimes took me hunting with him.
My family worked for the wealthiest people where I'm from, or some of the, and we ate rats for dinner on the regular.
As you both are talking, you can hear a little bit of skittering and squeaking. As
Ugh.
the thumping in the wall that August heard earlier erupts, and you get like 3 rats that are kind of running out. Just kind of through the space.
They're not very appetizing.
Yeah. For dinner sometimes, the Baron would have those non-humans, but not as guests.
Did he at least cook them?
Yes.
Could be worse. Are you trying to kill the Baron?
Am I?
Well, if you weren't, I don't know why your brother hired me or not.
Oh, I'm absolutely trying to kill the Baron.
Right, so I'm asking you why. I mean, you're free. Seems like there's no good reason to go back there.
Well, other than the fact that he probably still hunts and occasionally eats non-humans. There are other children still in his care. He's using some kind of magic to torture my dead siblings in the afterlife. He also killed said siblings, except maybe one of them is still alive out there. But I undoubtedly saw 2 of them get killed by him. So I feel like, you know, as one of the few remaining, it's kind of my duty.
How altruistic of you.
And revenge, and, you know, he tried to kill me, so
I feel
it's
like that's
all
the bigger
fair.
one that you're trying to hide under an altruistic little film.
There's not just one reason, there are many.
Yeah, but I feel like the revenge part is the big one, so to speak. I mean, you did make a pact with a dragon.
That was somewhat unrelated. It was more a matter of survival in the moment. Rather than having any forethought. Certainly you could take other jobs that pay just as well and are a lot less dangerous.
I'm a drow on the surface.
Then why don't you go back below the surface?
Oh, what I wouldn't love to do that. But it's a little bit far even from Valanos. So that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Why aren't you just trying to get there anyways?
Maud kind of breaks in from the corner and goes, because he's probably not welcome back.
No one asked you.
Just stating the obvious.
Are you? Privacy.
Fine. We can talk later. And she kind of goes over to the door. And they shut it.
I know you're probably still outside the door.
You realize it's a public space, right? You're in a common room area.
And everybody's asleep except for you.
Yes, traits of being an elf, I suppose.
Go on the fucking deck or something. You're not wanted.
Say please. I'm waiting.
You're going to be waiting a very long time.
Very well, I should just hear all your secrets, and, I don't know, information is power.
He's gonna just get up and pick up his dagger.
Kill her like a rat, and then I can serve her to Papa.
She wouldn't taste very good anyway.
I don't think he cares. Maybe if we're lucky, he'll get syphilis from it.
He's gonna just walk to the door, just open it. Are we going to have to do this the hard way? Or are you going to be a good little...
Threat, so boring, and so exumif. They'd be so proud.
If you want, I can just throw you overboard. You can go back to drowning where you were a few days ago.
I would really like to see you try. And it's at this point you realize that they are buff. Like, buff as fuck. And like, the form is feminine in many ways, but like, there is a strong musculature about them. They look kind of towards you. I stand by what I said. I'll leave you alone. You just need to say please. Humility is a wonderful trait.
Please.
Ah! Music to my ears. Enjoy your session with your girlfriend, I guess. And kind of steps away, and you hear the walking upstairs.
Do I hear that?
Oh, absolutely. They are not hiding it at all.
I'm gay.
You're disgusting.
Oh, man.
The longer I stay on the surface, the worse I get to becoming closer to that, I guess.
I don't think you're there yet.
Thank goodness. Well, you're not going to ask me about the lovely bomb that our guest dropped?
Oh, that you're not wanted.
Maybe. Maybe.
You're maybe not wanted, or you may discuss it. And you're maybe not wanted, and you're too scared to find out. Got it. Well, I'm sure there's some way to dip your toes into that idea. Maybe meet some other real drow. Get an idea. Or you could just... you're magic, right? Find a way to change your appearance permanently and...
And what?
Just
Stay
be
on the
someone
surface?
else. No, go back. Be a different drow. What? It's kind of the same thing. Just a fresh start, new face, new you.
Drow society is not kind to a new, fresh face.
Well, it's probably like the new kid in school. It's a little weird at first, but you beat up some kid and they won't mess with you. Or, you could take the place of a drow that already lives there. I mean, there are solutions here.
Not many good ones.
All right, then you cannot be a drow.
Say that like it's some easy thing to do.
You're
Like
magic.
not having...
Change things. You magic people can change things like that.
I have no idea how I am magic. I woke up one day in a prison cell and suddenly I could make my voice as loud as the sound of thunder. I don't know what I'm doing.
We found God in prison. That's not really an uncommon story.
Is it common for that god to give you magic powers?
I mean, some priests and believers, I think, get it, don't they?
You hear
Please tell me you're joking.
you hear Curling kind of like a
Gross.
and slowly opens its eyes and make its way over to Zunrith.
Hello?
Can you give us space?
The creature looks at you, August, and like you see kind of like these welling eyes of recognition almost. It's by far the most humanoid thing about this creature, and it just kind of backs away.
What did you do to get in jail for 30 years anyways?
Now that is something I'm not comfortable sharing. At least until you give me something equally interesting.
I've given you a hell of a lot.
What happened to your... I don't know. What happened to your sister?
That would be Ophelia or Eglantine. Eglantine, I'm not 100% clear. That was after my time.
Is that the one with the spirit that you spoke to?
No, that was Ophelia. Last I heard, she went on a journey to get back in touch with her Fey heritage. Some sort of pilgrimage to the Feywild. At least that's what we were told. I never saw her again until I saw her spirit. And that's how I found out she was dead.
It's like groaning. It's just like with like awkward vocal folds that don't work the right way.
Why did we bring this thing back?
Was
I probably
carrying
could have
you.
walked.
That's not on me.
It's at this point, August, that you look over and with enough time looking at this creature, you also begin to notice the crests on it. One vaguely Camelot and the other like a smudged Huguenot.
Sorry, if the Baron hunted you, I have no control over him.
Just kind of exasperated, and it kind of like slumps down in front, letting its head rest on the floor.
Looks like you got yourself a new pet.
Absolutely not. I don't really like pets. Don't like any of them really. I mean, they're fine. Horses are nice.
So
That was really Solanine's thing. I mean, I liked them, sure.
I'm
I think
curious.
horses are delicious, but I didn't know that they were nice. Oh, come on!
Why would you eat horses?
Why would you not?
Did you have a bunch of horses in the Underdark?
And you're part of a military expedition, and you don't use horses, and other people use horses.
Why wouldn't you just ride horses? You'd get places faster.
Not as fast as Beetle.
You're saying there are beetles big enough to ride?
Yes. You're the servant of a dragon, and you're surprised that there are beetles big enough to fit an elf on top.
You know, I would just like to point out that there are a lot of storybooks and things about dragons, a lot of documentation, but there aren't entire genres built around riding beetles. It must be some great drow secret. I certainly haven't seen them.
Did you guys sleep for 4 hours in like a trance sleep hybrid, or did you sleep
Sure.
for 8 hours?
No, I'll say 4 hours.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend more time on something that I don't need to.
Fair.
So, why'd you go to prison?
I was let's just say oh, you're not going to buy that. I was part of a military expedition that was going to start the groundwork for an invasion of the surface.
All of it.
At least part.
there are that many drow.
Oh. There are plenty enough drow. And Dwerger that we can use as servants, and other humans, and
Humans.
lesser races. Yes. Some. Eccentric. Very almost more bestial than the humans who live up here. But quieter, less annoying.
Well, that's probably because they're subservient to the drow that you find them that way.
The system works. Why change it?
So how many others were caught with you?
Just me. That I'm aware of.
And is this failed expedition why you think you wouldn't be welcomed back?
Yes and no. There's many answers to that.
How do you know Mistress Vale?
A former employer, we can say.
And you have no desire to join her cohort and find your own place there?
I don't know if she really knows what she's doing, or if she's even in charge of what she's doing.
She seemed like she knew what she was doing. And she
Yes.
seemed in charge.
Nobility often do.
Alright, that's fair enough.
You're asking me a lot of questions.
So, you're talking.
Did she die? Didn't seem very pleasant. Per your past interaction.
Ophelia? I don't know. I can only presume what happened to her is what happened to me and my brothers. Which is she was hunted.
It's your
You,
pet,
you have
not mine.
something to say.
It thumps once on the ground.
And this is clearly... She doesn't know this.
No.
But this is clearly not Draconic.
No.
Because she does speak Draconic, so
Mhm.
she would know that
Oh yeah, no, it's
whatever's being said is not...
not draconic.
comprehensible.
No, but the creature seems
Just
to
being
respond to
clear.
you speaking in crits. At least
Right.
as of now. You haven't tried speaking in any other languages.
But it's not communicating back in Draconic.
No.
Okay, just... Yep. I'll say, do you speak Draconic in Draconic?
Thump once.
That it didn't respond in Draconic.
Maybe he's just hungry. Maybe he wants you to take him for a little walkie.
Freddy! Sorry. There's a cat. Oh, it's a Freddy! Look, Freddy! Good boy. Look, I don't know what you want, but you're free to go.
Kind of blows out a little bit and nestles into its space.
You said you were hunted.
Oh, yes. I got away.
Then I'm still just so confused as to why you want to come back. You're already gone. You don't want to go back. You're not some altruistic, wonderful, heroic person. At least, not from what I've gotten from you yet. Why do you want to go back?
Zunrith, I'm starting to suspect you don't know what love is.
Oh, that thing that they talk about in fairy tales that's all pretty and makes you feel lovely and happy wherever you go.
I loved my brothers and sister.
Okay. I loved my family.
And the Baron is continuing to harm them.
Not you.
Well, when you love someone and they're being hurt, you're being hurt too.
No, that's just the way the world works. Oh, come on. You don't think it's all sentimentality everywhere you go, is it?
Lincoln starts stirring a little bit, and he's not completely conscious, but he's not subtle about him waking up. So he's just kind of grumbling himself back into awareness. So he's kind of like hearing bits and pieces of what's going on.
I'm not sure I know how to explain this to you.
I'm sorry. Explain what?
Oh, not you, sorry.
No problem. He pushes himself like to a sitting up position. How are you two doing?
Swimmingly.
I feel like shit, but I'm not bleeding anymore.
I'm glad you're not bleeding anymore. By the way, August, just so you know, this pit dragon here seems to know you and Lucian from Ugnaught.
Yeah, it keeps making grumbling noises at me, but it's not draconic.
I tried to cast some magic so I could speak with them, and I couldn't. So I'm not sure if it has the capacity to speak, but it has the ability to understand. And I asked him to stomp once for yes and two for no until we find a better system.
Oh, so he's your pet.
I like
He-
that a little better.
It is its own self. I make no claim to it.
It like, it like, it's a gratifying, like, I appreciate you kind of growl. It's like, I am my own thing, thank you. Is the vibe you get.
Okay. He'll lightly pat on it. But perhaps I felt like I was getting somewhere with it, but it started to get a little tired. But perhaps if you have some more questions, I think there's more to this creature.
I don't know what to ask it.
I don't really care to ask it anything, to be quite honest.
I mean, I'm not opposed to asking it. I don't know what it wants. I don't know what to ask it.
What's the name of the pit dragon again?
The name you guys have heard, whether it is real or not, was Curlin.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Curlin. Yeah, and you actually kind of, I think you get where I'm getting at, because Lincoln says, has her name always been Curlin?
Thumps twice.
Is that yes or no?
2 for no. Do you know how to spell?
Thumps once.
Okay. He is going to get the parchment, and he's going to lay it on the floor where there's as much open space as he can, and he's going to use the charcoal to put the alphabet on it, just in an organized way, as clean as possible.
Okay.
And he and after writing the alphabet out, Lincoln says, could you step near the letters to spell your true name?
It kind of thumps once. And it goes over to the side, and it kind of puts its paw close to what looks like EDF range. Then it goes
EDF?
over. EDF, like, you know,
Oh,
they're all
EDF.
next to each other, so just kind of
Right,
paw
gotcha,
in that
gotcha.
general area. Then goes over, and then goes to the NOP section and thumps over it. And then goes over to the QRS bit. And then the HIJ. Then kind of the AB area, it looks like. And then the MNO.
Yeah, okay. Sure thing.
So Lincoln will kind of kneel close to each set of letters with the charcoal, and he'll say, and he'll basically point to each letter, saying,
He's trying to spell Dorian.
"Oh,
It
Dorian."
was one of my brothers I saw murdered, so try again.
So, yeah, Lincoln is. He's going to step back for a second and say, "All right, maybe this isn't a good exercise. Well, we will try to come up with a better system."
He gets frustrated and just kind of like walks out of the room. Dum, 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 dum.
I'm sorry, August. I didn't mean to potentially traumatize or upset you. I didn't know he would put that name out there.
That's fine. I'll just kill him when he's asleep.
With that, everyone is awake. Let's go ahead and take a brief break. And we'll be back here at 45 after. So,
All right.
see y'all soon. And welcome back. So, all of you are awake now. So what would you like to do out the day? Lucian looks to not be paying much attention to this creature, and he kind of leaves the room.
Well, I was about to ask because we went to sleep apparently in the afternoon. So is it nighttime now? Or...
It's about like 8:30ish. So it's like, you know, kind of mid-evening. That's what I would call mid-evening at least.
I would assume it's dark outside though, because it's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
second
yeah.
month. It's winter.
Oh yeah, it's definitely winter, and it is if you were to step outside, there is definitely a light flurry kind of coming about. Still the 13th day.
If I look outside, is the moon visible in the sky at all?
Ooh, that's a really good question, and I get to whip out my calendar with its phases of the moon and shit.
Fancy.
So the two moons that are visible to you, the red moon Aid and the blue moon Ocus, are both, they have like the tiniest sliver of a crescent, like tiny.
Cool. Is there anybody outside still trying to harass us on the boat, or?
Okay, so you step outside, you saw the snow, you saw the crescent. You look over,
Yeah,
it doesn't
I'm
look
just-
like anyone is really, there's no one really approaching. There's still somebody kind of guarding. It seems like they have set two people up at a time, which also just kind of makes sense in general.
Cool.
You can hear thumping in the background as a few individuals are still kind of fixing up the ship. You can see it looks like they've spent the day while you all were sleeping buying a cannon. It looks like they're investing in the defenses.
Just one.
One for now.
Might be all they can afford.
On
They
the
went
money.
They went to the store and they were like, I'll take 5 of these, and then they saw the price and they were like, can you put 4 back?
They went to Walmart and got 4 on layaway, or 1 on layaway.
Oh look, it's our holy man! Holy man, how are you? How are you doing?
Immediately gonna put my cloak back over my head and go back below decks.
Feeling shy? Alright, well, when you have time, would love to give you a rundown. Did you like the shrine?
He's not listening. He's just...
You make your way down. I was about to say, it's just echoing voices.
Well, there's nobody outside trying to kill us, and it's nighttime, so I don't know what you
Good,
all
it's
do.
stuffy in here. And I'm just gonna head back up to the ship
Mm-hmm.
deck.
Absolutely. You make your way up.
quite roomy in here, actually. I don't know why you're saying it's stuffy. This is a sure. He'll just follow because he has nothing better to do. So
Yeah, Lincoln will follow them up to the deck as well. If anything, just to look at something other than the inside of the ship.
Yeah, absolutely. You head out. The flurry is just light. It's kind of one of those warm snows, which this region is kind of known for. It being, for whatever reason, this whatever pattern in the currents here almost carries warm waters from elsewhere across the continent of Erlon, and brings them to deposit in this area. So you've got kind of this warm breeze, but also a little bit of snow kind of coming in from the north. So it's not unpleasant, and you all have been dressed for far worse weather than this. As you guys are noticing, it's very obvious you guys have traveled quite a bit south. Um, I would say warm for you. Maybe not warm, but warm for you. In comparison. As you're kind of looking around, you can see that Maud is positioned over by a table and looks to be playing with themselves, actually. As it looks like one of the ship workers was playing Dragon Chest with them, and has just kind of left and is kind of grumbling, like frustrating. Getting out, being beaten, and you also hear some pans being clattered, likely on just on the wherever the cook is, wherever the kitchen is on the ship, as there's likely a meal being prepared.
August, I'll be honest, I haven't seen too many dragons, so I don't know. Is this the same one that we encountered earlier?
Earlier where?
When we escaped Valenost.
No, that one's still up there.
So this is a different dragon.
That one's like an ancient dragon. This one's just a weird abomination. Have you had your sight checked?
I was inside the cave. I didn't get a close look at the other one.
Sure. Different. The other one is connected to me telepathically, speaks Draconic, and is an ancient white dragon. I don't know what this thing is.
Well, the only way that we can get out of here is if we convince this dragon to leave, or the dragon dies, or we somehow convince the town to lower its defenses, which I'm sure it wouldn't do when a dragon's right outside to attack.
The dragon's gotta leave sometime. He'll get bored. He's not gonna listen to me.
I
already tried.
I didn't know that you had tried.
Yeah, it's mostly just asking me to let it in, so.
August, with a little bit of a tinge of just some sixth sense, you kind of look over the water, and you notice a very, very peculiar, very large rock just beyond the field that protects the city, just kind of floating in the water.
A floating rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's shifting slightly side to side.
Yep, well, it's still waiting. It'll get bored and go away eventually. Or someone can do me a favor and kill it.
Sorry, I don't know much about dragons, but aren't they supposed to be difficult to kill.
Yes, that is kind of the problem.
From over yonder, you can hear Medora say, well, if you're done speculating on killing a dragon, perhaps you'd like to join me for a game of Dragon Chess and we can have that conversation you oh so wanted.
It seemed to me like you wanted
Who
it
wanted
more
a
than...
conversation?
Yeah, it seemed to me like you wanted to have one more than I.
Come a bit closer, I don't really want to yell about it.
We're all over here. You could come over here. 3 against 1. Seems more convenient for you to come over here.
They just kind of effortlessly pick up the table with all the pieces and begin kind of waddling over. You can hear them kind of like click and clatter as they kind of rock.
Alternatively, you could just leave. We did just pick you up from the ocean. There's no obligation you have to stay around us at all.
They slam the table down. And I am so grateful for that, by the way.
Right.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, the attitude kind of. doesn't
Oh,
make that
please, like you all
genuine.
don't bicker. You're the ones with attitude.
What was that? You just rolled your eyes.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I haven't played this game in quite a long time.
What are you, like 50 years old? Come on. This is a childish game. What do you want?
You're not far off 42.
Great, I'm talking to almost an infant.
An infant who knows a little bit more about Exumif than you.
Really? Do tell. You seem so excited to.
Oh, I am. I'm very excited to share information as I think it's rather critical, as there's several things going on, but I want to know about the Baron. And I want to know what you two, and they point towards August and Lucian, who's just kind of overlooking the deck, have to do with him.
You were eavesdropping, weren't you? Didn't do a very good job if you didn't catch that.
I left.
This was before then.
What, I can't sleep? I only caught, like, maybe the last 5 seconds of your speech.
I'm his adopted daughter.
You can see their eyes narrow pretty hard. Interesting. And him?
Nephew.
Huh.
Can Lincoln insight Medora's response?
Sure. So he kept adopting.
Dirty 20.
What do you mean kept adopting? He's got 4 more at home, 3 more at home. Plus his own now.
Oh. Well, that's a new development. Lincoln, what'd you get?
20.
20. Seems very intrigued by the fact that adopting has been a common practice by the Baron.
Okay, but no negative or malignant motives directed towards August or Lucian at the moment?
If anything, you almost sense more of like... You almost sense their guard kind of lower a tiny bit, actually.
Yeah, I think he's up to 10 now, excluding his own.
That's a lot
And,
of people.
let's see. How many are living? Well, as far as I know, 5 plus maybe Sophiathan. So maybe 6. Oh, right. 7 if you count the dragon. That's presently saying it's a Dorian.
Interesting.
Yes, it's
And-
very interesting.
And if you don't mind me asking, why is that interesting to you?
Oh, just, You said... and I want to make sure I heard this correctly. Sophiathan.
Yes.
Huh.
My older brother possibly ran away. Also might have been killed. Unsure. Creepy fortune teller lady says that he's still alive somewhere.
Well, he was alive last time I checked.
How do you know Sophiathan?
We met about a month ago?
Insight check.
Go for it.
How oddly serendipitous.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Hold on, I need to see my. Oh shit! Roll 20 has to reload.
Oh, no!
Rolled an 18. I
Oh.
can't remember offhand my plus on that, so
Mm-hmm.
waiting for roll 20 to reload. It must.
I know,
have
very exciting. Just drum
tried
roll.
that. 21. It's not like a high insight, but
Okay, 21. That's definitely high enough. They seem to be telling the truth. As much as they understand and as much as they know, they are telling the truth. Are you just
you
going
met
to make
Sophiathan a month
faces?
ago. I'm thinking.
While this conversation is going on, Lincoln's going to head over to the railing of the deck and just kind of look out to the city and kind of leave August and Zunrith to speak with. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name already. I'm so terribly sorry.
Medora.
Medora, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's enough of a start. I can give you some information about Ex-Umif, if you like now.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Hold on. Sophiathan. Creepy fortune teller lady said he doesn't know who he is.
Well, that seems rather ridiculous. Seemed plenty knowledgeable, although cagey, about some details.
Where did you see him?
He actually found me. Not sure how he found out about me and my dynamic with the Baron, but he did. Found out I escaped.
What's your dynamic with the Baron?
I guess we're all finding ourselves in the same place. I was adopted. Not officially, though. Just kind of taken care of back when he was engaged. Before the rebellion.
He's only human. He can't be that old. You're 42.
Well, he somehow managed to keep up appearances for quite a while. Last time I saw him was maybe 30 years ago?
And how old was he 30 years ago?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know. I was banished from Exumif, and I made my way up here. Was taken in. Seemed nice enough.
Yeah, okay, we're not talking about the same Baron then.
Took a new name. But
Sorry if I don't believe the shaky memory of a 42-year-old elf who learned this information and learned of this person when they were 12.
since when did I say my memory was shaky? What details do you want to know? And you can feel like the feistiness go like, "Excuse you, how dare you insult my intelligence?"
Careful,
What
the
button?
adults are talking, little child.
Oh, we're playing that card. I was about to say, how old is everyone else here?
Lincoln
You
just
don't
kind
ask a
of
lady her age.
Lincoln just kind of like glares over his shoulder and shakes his head before looking back out to the city. Is there anything unusual going out with the, like, just people, or with the? Well, I guess, is there anything unusual going outside the from the deck of the ship that he can see?
Go ahead and make a check. Your choice, investigation or perception. And I would say your headache has, gone over, so you're good there.
Well, it didn't help much. I got 12.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Not that you have a great context for what's ordinary.
Sure.
You notice there are a few carriages kind of traveling late at night. But you certainly keep an eye out, if you're looking for any sort of activity or whatnot.
Yeah. He's gonna just shift between looking up at the stars and then looking down at the basically at the city proper, and just try to remain alert for any potential danger that starts approaching them.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to do so with relative ease, and I'll let you know when that starts to play in.
Yep, absolutely. Just wanted to have that there for the conversation to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching. Medora kind of turns. Yes. What was shaky? Was I not clear?
Reach adulthood first, and then I'll believe you when you say that you have some insightful knowledge from 30 years ago.
See, this is what I hated about the Drow, is that there's this hierarchy with ages, and albeit I was a woman in the culture, but just not it.
Imagine being a woman in the culture and having too hard of a time in Drow society. Ah,
You don't remember me at all, do you?
am I supposed to?
You would visit Filani on occasion, and I was one of the servants in training at the time.
Well, that makes two of us, as well as hundreds of us. So,
And did you ever sneak into her quarters?
I was sneaking into her quarters before you were even born.
Oh,
little
I'm
one.
sure. I'm sure. So you know all about the invasion schematics and all those things?
Oh, child. You have so much to learn.
So you also know about the thing that's devouring Exumi, right?
I'm gonna insight check her.
Go
on
for
that
it.
one.
Go for it. I love this know-it-all contest, low-key.
Oh, that's good. 24.
24. Best as you can tell, she's actually being straightforward with you.
What does the creature look like? You seem to have a vivid imagination. Please paint the scene for me.
You can see their expression just kind of darken. There wasn't a creature described. It was a journal entry of some kind. Notes about dark tendrils, coming from, well, deeper in the Underdark through walls. It was more like shadows. Like a darkness creeping in.
Does that ring any bells or thoughts or anything in my brain?
Make a history check with advantage, because I mean, this was where you grew up, so like even current events, rumors, anything along those lines.
Oh, well, that's not really good at all. That's a 5.
Ooh. Um. You are the period of time that is being discussed, between 30 and 40 years ago, before you were captured, but like not, super, not like, years and years and years before, but just kind of that 5 or 10 year window. You have a really hard time remembering anything past just constant military training. You recall not being in the city too much during that time, as much you were you were conscripted as an intelligence agent for Filani. You spent a lot of time, not just training, but also socializing and, trying to figure out angles that Filani could use the military to her advantage. And as such, you don't recall being in tune with the current events at the present time for the city.
Sounds like some wonderful superstitions. Little fairy tales, probably to keep the small children awake.
Then why was it
Unless
in the study instead of in the nursery? That's my question. Unless she was plotting for me to find that information.
think she wouldn't.
Oh no, I think she would. Regardless, it drove me to get the hell out of there.
At 12?
Commit a few minor offenses. Too young to be murdered, executed. They banish you. It's basically the same as being killed, but...
Sight check on that.
Go for it.
That one's not really good. That's 12.
12. Very hard to read. Indefinite. At least with your roll.
That I remember, usually it was the court of public opinion on matters like that, and you just got kicked alive in the streets.
Depends.
Sounds like you got off easy.
Oh, I absolutely got off easy. That was part of my plan, I guess.
The plan of a 12-year-old child.
Yes, I was rather bright. Just not in the traditional sense.
Right, if you're gonna be a little snotty know-it-all, where did you meet Sophiathan? You never said.
It's north of Ugnut. Few days travel. I was just kind of living in a hut. I had made a few friends in the area. Had no desire to be anywhere near in that realm of just grossness.
You met Sophiathan a few days north of Ugnot in a hut a month ago.
Like I said, he came to me.
For what?
Well, he knew that I had escaped and was wondering how to do so as well.
Escape what? Is he trapped?
The Baron. Something... He never was upfront about it, but he was very... His dreams, his sleep talks. And there was something about being chased, or something about not wanting to kill. Being forced beyond his nature, I assume. It seems like the Baron changed quite a bit, to be honest.
Are you talking about Sophiathan, or the Baron came to see you?
Sophiathan came, but the Baron did not have, well, the Baron I knew was not nearly as troubled back when I knew him.
And Sophiathan came to find you to escape the Baron. Sophiathan's been gone for 9 years from the house.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
You know what also doesn't make any sense? The fact that a random straggler that we picked up floating dead in the ocean mere days ago somehow has all the information and all the answers related to not just my scenarios, but also to the scenarios of my compatriots. So I'm going to ask this as plainly as possible. Who are you and what do you want?
Fine. Well, my name is Medora von Zorovich. And, well, I'm interested in finding a few relics. For my own
And-
personal goals.
And what do myself or my companions have anything to do with that?
Oh, I have no clue. I just know I was spit out in the water, and, well, you're the ones that were there.
And you just
Lincoln, come over here. I need your magic eyes.
And you just somehow
Right.
have all this knowledge about us.
What can I say? Maybe Providence is on your side.
Lincoln, look at that person and use your magic, and if they're disguised, make them go away.
That I'll do what I can, but I don't quite have that kind of power.
Gunrith, can you do that? Make magic go away?
I
Just
can
me
do one that will feel much more satisfying. I'm gonna punch her.
Oh,
Go for it. Make an attack roll.
she's only 42.
She's only 42. Have mercy. Strength roll.
Yeah. Yep.
That's 13.
13 does not hit.
I am not very strong.
No, you're not. You take a strike kind of for like a quick jab, but you find yourself kind of stumbling a little bit. And she just kind of grabs your fist in midair. And just kind of like effortlessly lowers it. Really? And gives you a punch back.
Oh.
Ooh, that's not great. That's only like a 14 to hit.
Nope. Even without my shield. Is she still holding my hand?
No.
Or still holding my fist? Okay. Dang.
Lincoln will put up his hands and say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I just make sure that there are no illusions or other incantations that could be affecting you?"
Why are you asking? Just do it.
You're really bad at this, aren't you?
I don't have any illusions. You're free to check as you wish.
Okay. Yeah, if I can make an Arcana check, just see if there are any sigils or markings that maybe could be indicative of magical effects, whether it's charm or...
Yeah. Are you doing detect magic?
I don't have detect magic. I'm literally
Oh, Arcana. Just an
hoping to do
Arcana
an
check.
Arcana check.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, I have to get up close to inspect. 11.
11. I mean, you can definitely tell that the sigils on their head, on their bald head, like the tattoos and stuff, you can definitely tell those have like arcane meaning to them. But you don't particularly notice anything magical.
Nothing magically active.
Yeah, nothing magically active that you can detect.
There's the best I can tell. There's no magical effects that could be changing the appearance or showing any enchantment or suggesting control. So, if there is any deceit here, then it doesn't seem to be magical in nature.
See, I'm kosher.
I didn't say that.
What does that mean?
Not a drow saying, so I don't know either.
I think the Baron used it once or twice.
I never heard him use it.
Hmm.
You must be thinking of a different Baron.
Must be maybe a time thing. Means I'm okay. I'm natural. Correct.
Yes, I beg your pardon, but I did not say you're okay, just that I did not find anything.
Details.
Well, I just want to make that clear because in case you do...
What, in case I slit your
end up-
throat?
Yes, I don't want to be held responsible.
Right,
Goes to
because...
throw them back overboard.
Seriously.
That's 2 out of 3.
Ugh. How about you guys? I was... And she looks over to the people that she was just playing dragon chess with, and all of them kind of look at her with the "you beat us" eyes, and she's like, "Come on, we've had quite a bit of fun." And they go, like just kind of across the whole group. Well, it looks like
Well, what are these artifacts that you're looking for?
they're crystals, orbs, something. I'm just attuned to them. I can feel them when they're near. Last one didn't go so well. Sophiathan was with me, along with 2 other individuals.
The story is starting to get less and less interesting the more you go on.
I'm just saying we went to find a thing. We were all working together. We wanted to change something about our lives and thought
What
this was the
thing?
answer.
What thing?
I told you, I'm just attuned to it. We got to it. It was like a metal block. It's a big metal block with a bunch of fancy sigils on it. Pre-cataclysmic. And it was a source of some great magic that I was very interested in and thought it would be a solution to a couple of our problems. We had banded together to try and solve a few issues. And, well, interacting with it didn't go as planned.
What happened?
Did you come here with the dragon that's calling itself Dorian?
No, I've no the clue. Fuck what that is. That's...
Right.
That's something I've never seen. But I'm only 42.
Lucian, can you help me throw this thing overboard?
Lucian kind of looks over and goes, "What? No!"
We voted.
Are you really attached?
I'm not attached to anything. But
Then
I don't
throw it
see why we're
overboard.
getting rid of a possible resource. If nothing else, you saw how she worked in the battlefield? I'm the
Yes,
only
she-
front line we have.
She absolutely did nothing but scare some archers.
I
While
wasn't
the
really
rest
paying
of-
attention. I was kind of accosted most of the time.
It doesn't mean us any harm. That would be cruel.
No.
Oh, I've upgraded to an
Cruelty is
it.
something much more.
At this point, you can hear Ray's voice. All right, we have food ready for the people who were sleeping. And he kind of comes up, brings out a few trays of food and kind of dishes them out to you. We look to be having a serious conversation here.
Yes. So
I don't
if we
take any
could get
food.
if we could get some privacy, please.
Lincoln will grab a plate if it's brought out.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You guys have some food. Ray kind of steps away for a moment. Everybody's kind of started eating. Except for August, apparently.
Zunrat's not eating. He's just gonna let his bowl sit on the table.
Okay. It's smelling of as it kind of sits there, you catch the waft of like some garlic and some cheeses, and Ray apparently is a decent cook. Who knew?
Never had any of those foods, so wouldn't know.
Probably smells like the
I've
most
had-
wonderful thing to you. Way better than rat.
So what happened when you tried to attune to this magical item?
Well, we were scattered. I woke up in the ocean, and that's when you all found me.
So you want us to believe that through
I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds really crazy, and clearly you're not inclined to believe me, but that's what happened.
Insight check, if I may.
Go for it. Who else
also
making
insight.
yeah, I was about to say who
I'm
else.
walking away from the conversation.
Okay. Fair.
Man, I'm just full of mediocrity today. 11.
Okay.
18.
18. Lincoln, Maud seems very, very, very hard to read to you. Zunrith, you catch that at the very least it's mostly true. You aren't entirely sure if there are any lies. You're not even sure if there's any information being withheld. Just seems a bit odd, but mostly true.
Well, so I take it that one of your goals is to kill the Baron as well?
Well, it wasn't originally on my list, but seeing as I don't know, it just seems like an odd coincidence to be around
Yes.
Sephiathan's sister. I don't know, I just think the universe is providing.
Oh, you surface drow certainly are creative. I'll give you that. Can we make a makeshift brig of some sorts on the ship?
What do you have in mind? What rig?
Brig.
Brig! What's a... There's like muttering across. You
A
caught like the
cell.
big stupid one. What?
A
These-
cell.
These are the people that we're hoping to protect us from this angry mob that apparently wants our head.
I mean, hopefully they'll be able to take a couple hits to the head, and they won't feel anything.
Yeah, they're dumb enough that they can't give away anything. A cell, like somewhere to hold something. Or
Like a prison.
Yes. Like a prison.
Right, I've been in a few of those. Yeah, just come on over this way. We've got like a nice little separate room, and he kind of starts like gesturing for you to come down. You can see it's like this big, you know, thick meaty hands, human, but just very very large human, like one of those 7 foot tall type individuals.
Just gonna have his knife out and he's just gonna motion with it to Ma. Just after you. It's better than being thrown out in the water, isn't it?
Are you trying to intimidate or persuade here? Which, because I could see it going either way.
More like persuade.
Okay, I was gonna say it's kind of gentle for an intimidation,
It-
but it could be a passive aggressive intimidation.
I mean, like he's gonna stab her if she doesn't.
Yeah.
but He's not trying to go through that. What's my modifier? Oh, 16.
Ugh. Fine. And you can see like she kind of like twiddles her fingers in the air, and like the nails kind of sharpen just a tad and grow out. Shh. But you know that thing is borderline useless. But she follows.
Is that supposed to scare me?
No, it was just for fun. And then her
Mhm.
teeth grow a good like couple millimeters out. You see the canines sharpen as well.
Careful, you might bite your lip or your tongue off. Actually, that might be better if you did.
You think you're so smart?
You certainly do for a child.
Sounds like I have competition.
Make it a century first, and then you'll be on the same level. Come on.
As you're making down, she's like, you know, this would be considered child abuse across many cultures. And kind of makes her way down, continuing. She enters the cage, which you realize now, as he's describing it, is actually more like a broom closet. Like, it's just a little hollowed out, you know, section.
Cool.
Oh, no window seat.
He's just gonna close the door and lock it.
It's dark in here.
Or ask for a key to lock it.
Okay. Right. Yeah, here's the key. And kind of hands it over to you. You have to put, like, a chain around it, because it's a closet.
He's just gonna lock it real quick and then hand it right back.
Okay. You lock it successfully. There was this one time where we put some individual in here who was, like, sneaky.
Yes, very good. And I'm gonna pat him on the head like he's a dog, and then just walk upstairs.
Oh, that was quite nice. Do you give out free head massages?
Did he
He's
say
all-
he put somebody in there who's like a snake?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of comes up the stage. Or you make your way back on stage. You make your way back onto the deck.
Yep, stage left.
Everything is a stage.
Stage left entrance.
So you all are back up top. Your
Right.
food is still waiting for you.
I walked away from the conversation and probably the ship.
Okay. Oh, so you're out in the city.
I'm leaving onto the docks, wherever's nearest to get a drink.
Okay. You make your way over to a place nearby. You can see like there's almost like a what's the word? Like a little pop-up bar, if you will. that somebody has just kind of set up, and it looks like this has been kind of traveling around. There's an individual behind the counter who's kind of older, more aged, looks to be, excuse me, looks to be probably on the human side of a satyr. Kind of looks to you. Oh, hello. What can I get for you?
Something that'll get me fucked up.
Oh, you've come to the right place. Okay, so I have this lovely wine, which is reduced, by the way. It's strong, but it'll fuck you up real hard.
I'll take the wine then.
Oh, lovely, lovely. This is 1 gold.
Fine.
Ah, such a generous patron. So you will want a little.
Thanks for paying his asking price.
You will want to have a little bit of time to really test your tolerance.
I'm just pop.
Zunrath,
Okay.
Zunrath has grabbed his bowl and is making his way onto the docks, just slurping as he goes.
Okay.
He's following behind.
All right.
I'm not trying to be stealthy or sneaky.
Mm-hmm. August, you begin to drink your wine, and it immediately hits you. The burning sensation in the back of your throat. Oh, it burns so good. And then as it kind of settles, you get almost this like sweet billowing aftertaste, as it almost feels like this weird sensation of like spores coating the inside of your mouth. And like all of a sudden things begin to go a little woozy for a moment, and you find yourself kind of swaying back and forth. Zunrith, you bringing your food with you, kind of following behind, watch as August kind of sways back and forth in place. Walking is very, very fun right now, August.
Well, that's a new record. You managed to get drunk within 5 seconds of leaving the ship.
Jealous?
No, because I can still keep my balance. I'm gonna use thaumaturgy, or try to use thaumaturgy, and make the earth shake a little underneath.
Okay.
We're on the docks. Don't make it shake.
Just like a little bit.
Uh-huh. You shake it, and
Like a big wave hit the docks.
Okay.
Like a rat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The old individual kind of like, and just begins to like check all of like the bottles and things on the shelves, making sure they don't.
The old man, do you feel good about yourself now?
Did August stumble at all?
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say. What do you think, Lyndon?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty dexterous.
Okay, you know what? Let's see a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage. We'll see. We'll see how well this goes for you.
All right, that's really good. So, oh, that one came off. Okay. That would be a 21.
21, lovely, lovely. All right. Yeah, you I mean any bits of stumbling you can kind of flavor as like spicy walking.
See, I walk spicy.
But with that, out of curiosity, Zunrith, have you had any of your meal, or are you just kind of like carrying it with you?
Oh no, he's slurping it as he
Oh,
goes.
okay.
He's like eating it. It probably looks not very neat at all. He's literally just like
Okay.
drinking solid food.
You start drinking solid food. And for Lincoln and Zunrith, you both, as soon as it touches your mouth, it's just this warm, buttery, just like sensation of just absolutely delicious, savory taste that just melts in your mouth. It seems to have like some chunks of some kind of pork in it. There's like hints of honey And is that something like mustard? It's spiced
I'm
well.
gonna look in the bowl and see if it's actually what I'm tasting, or whether this is just magic making it taste really nice. 'Cause
Sure.
it was gotten from a ship.
Make an investigation check.
That's a you said investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure my modifier is 0 for that one. Yep, that's a 8.
8. Looks pretty real. And as far as your magic goes, not magic you're familiar with, if it is. It's not glowing or anything. Just seems like good food. I would also like to take this time to say, like, you can... August, in particular, despite being intoxicated, you look over the ship and you can see a bunch of, like, the men that kind of, what's the word? Man the ship, I guess. They all start kind of, like, swaying a little bit, and they're all singing and just having a good time and winding down. And they all kind of start to calm down. Lincoln, it hits you first. As August and Zunrith leave, you and Lucian kind of look at each other, and you look down at your bowl, and you feel your eyes start to flutter as you lose consciousness, and you find your body on the ground, and you're looking up, and Ray comes over to you and goes, "So gullible." And it begins to melt away, and you see Breck standing before you.
I mean, he's losing consciousness, so he can't really do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Yeah, he passes out and gets very pissed off at himself.
Just kind of like, as you're standing there, Breck kind of leans over and goes, "This is fun." And kind of touches you on the nose.
Do we see them falling asleep as we're standing on the docks?
You are interacting with the old person.
Okay.
And then, after you've taken a few slurps, start to feel the same effects. And you look
I mean, okay. No, continue.
And you look over at the ship, and you can see an individual that looks like Lincoln in the distance, but not quite. Just kind of like bearing over these two figures. And you can see him kind of like grabbing things off of their person. Go ahead.
I'm gonna try and hit myself with the lesser restoration before I go asleep.
Okay. You try to manifest your spell, and the magic kind of like fades in your hands. Give me a D100.
Are you telling me that my actions have consequences right now? Where's my D10? A 72.
72. Not low enough, as this was effectively kind of a mini divine intervention roll. You feel the magic kind of spark out, and you put 2 and 2 together real quick. The tattoos fading, the magic not manifesting. Something, whether it's you or something external, is not letting you harness the power that you have come to be familiar with. And you do have a moment longer because you started eating later to react. You effectively have one turn. August, you would also be looking at this individual on the ship as well, kind of looting, and you take particular note of it looting Lucian.
I'm just going to I'm gonna look at August and I'm just gonna pull the bag of holding that's at my side and just toss it at them and just give them a look of just like, do what you gotta, and then just pass the fuck out.
Okay. You hit the ground. August, what do you do?
I've got the bag. And the wine. And I'm very confused as to what I'm gonna do with the bag. I put the wine in it, cork it. Put the wine in the bag.
Priorities.
You watch as just as you're corking the bottle and putting it in the bag, you watch as the individual picks Lucian up and throws him across the shoulders.
Okay, I put the backpack on. I'm gonna wear it like a backpack. I don't
Okay.
know if it's a backpack.
Great.
And I'm going to okay. So I saw him looting the two of them. It looks like everybody else is asleep on the ship as well.
Yes.
And I see him picking up Lucian. Okay. I'm going to run in that direction, but I'm going to try to be stealthy.
Okay. Go
Towards
ahead and make a
the,
stealth check.
Like, do I need to do it with disadvantage?
I'm gonna say, man, I almost want to give you one ability that you don't have to have disadvantage on. You know what, for fun, take stealth without disadvantage, because I feel like August has been intoxicated and also stealthy a couple of times in her life. I get that feeling.
Okay. Then that is a 24.
24. You find yourself just like in this, floaty headspace, able to creep over, and like you can't feel like a good quarter of your body, but somehow it's just, the body's doing what it's trained to do for years and years and years. And you find yourself kind of hiding next to the plank that leads from the docks up to the ship. You watch as Breck kind of hoists over and starts to take Lucian down the ramp.
Okay, so I just saw the list of what's in the bag.
Okay.
Can I call the oil of slipperiness to my hand?
Oh my god. Okay. Yes.
I'll dump it as I pass the gangplank to hide on the other side of the gangplank towards the sea, and so he would have to come down the gangplank on the docks towards the docks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you've like just
Just running, just
Yup.
You could have also done the sovereign glue.
That would have been fucking funny. Oh, that would have been so good.
damn.
Oh, damn. It's drunk August. It's
Hindsight.
drunk August. Okay, so what is the DC for that? How does that work? Do you have a description?
Yeah, I got one.
I'm at okay, you do great.
Uh,
I was about to say that was in Yorick's, I believe.
yeah.
I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, applying the oil takes 10 minutes. I couldn't have used it anyway.
Okay.
Oh, Oh wait, it can be poured on the ground as an action.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
A
It
grease spell.
functions- Yeah, it's the grease spell on 10 feet area for 8 hours. So
Jeez.
Dex saving throw. But it doesn't say because that's the grease spell is a dex saving throw.
yeah, it's a dex save, but
So-
it doesn't say how much.
Okay,
what
we'll
dex
just...
save should it be?
13 is a pretty standard, so let's
Alright,
just use
13.
13. That is... Wow. That's a 12. As Breck gets over, just goes, whoa! And just, like, you see, like, the feet shoot out from underneath of him, and you hear, like, poor Lucian's shoulder hit, like, the plank. Boom, boom,
He's
boom.
gotten worse. And then I'm gonna throw the dust of choking.
Oh, God! Also DC 13, I think. What is that? You have to spend your action? Is that how that works?
I don't know. Just looked at this list.
It's a DC 15 con save. And if you don't pass it, if he doesn't pass it, he can't breathe and he's sneezing uncontrollably.
Yeah, that's an action.
Yeah.
For how long?
That's a
at
great.
the end of each of its turns. Bilbo.
Okay.
Yeah, it can make the saving throw every turn.
Okay.
Every round. But until then, it's incapacitated and suffocating.
Jesus. I was...
So
Oh,
save.
damn. Wow. How many uses of that do you have?
I think it's a single use.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think these were all one-time use things.
Okay.
This was all like gathered for the prison break-in for different things.
Oh,
that
that's
we could use it
right.
For.
You're finally using it. I love it. All right. So with that, the 10 that's a natural 10, and then what saving throw was it? Con. That is going to be another 12.
I think August has to save as well.
But I threw it at him.
Yeah, it says when you use the action to throw it, you and each creature that needs to breathe within 30
Oh
feet of
no!
Oh,
Oh no, Bilbo took my D20.
no!
Does that mean Lucian has saved too, or is he unconscious and thus safe from this?
Oh man, poor.
breathing, so
Oh,
I'd
that's
imagine
true.
he has to save too.
Oh no! Lucian rolled a natural 1.
Okay, well, that's just one round. He's not dead yet.
You see, oh god, you see like Lucian on the ground, like just convulsing, like just on the ground, violently coughing in his like unconscious state.
I rolled a
August?
17.
A 17. Oh god. Okay, so you succeed. You succeed. You're fine for now. But you can see like the as I imagine it, the dust kind of like just like flies out and just kind of spiraling in this mist, almost like a darkness or a fog cloud spell. Does it say if it like lasts in the air, or does it just like explode?
No, it just says you keep doing it. You keep doing the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Until
It's
you
just a
succeed?
Until you succeed.
Okay.
Or until
Resembles-
you die, I guess, too. You could just choke to death.
Okay.
Because what is it? Like how
Very
how
fine
much?
sand.
Yeah, your constitution is how long you can not
Yeah, it's-
breathe.
How many minutes? So, Lucian will outlast, poor Breck. I shouldn't say poor Breck.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Breck, okay, so first round, Breck has to respond. He is incapacitated. Lucian's incapacitated. And we're just gonna say natural ones count for 2 rounds, because if we roll them, whatever. And I rolled a natural 1 on Breck, so Breck has 2 rounds where he can't do anything. What are you doing, August?
I am putting my rapier at his throat, and I know he can't respond, but I'll still be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Who the fuck are you?"
like just coughing at
'Cause I
you,
was
like.
not there for the showdown with him either.
No, you weren't. You have no clue who this is. You do recognize the family resemblance to Lincoln, though. It's not easy to it's not hard to miss. Fraternal,
they're,
but
they're little.
easy.
Yeah, they are fraternal twins.
So that much is pretty straightforward. So that's first round. Can't respond, so you just have your rapier there at the throat. You can tell, like, from the combination of him coughing and also you kind of like being a little woozy. Like you definitely are like making tiny little like incisions in his neck by accident. Not enough to do damage, but just like flavor. What do you do the second round?
Is Lucian dying? I look at Lucian briefly to make sure he's not dead.
Lucian is still choking, but he's breathing because he's choking.
Okay.
He's still
Or he
responding.
stops choking.
Yeah. That's fine. It's fine. Details. So he's asleep. Second round, are you doing anything to Breck?
No.
No. Okay. Breck rolls again. Still failing.
How much of that sovereign glue do we have?
Lucian.
Sovereign glue his hands together.
I was thinking about it.
Lucian actually succeeds with a natural 16. So Lucian is still asleep, but still like the coughing kind of stops, and you can see like a steady rise in the chest as
we go.
he's breathing. What are you doing? You have another free round.
Yeah, let's glue that sucker's hands together.
Oh my god. Is it just an action to apply the glue? Is that how this works?
I think so.
I keep saying I'm gonna do these things and then I don't look up how they work.
Yes. We'll be out of here right on time, so.
Yeah, it takes 1 ounce of glue covers a 1 foot square surface. The glue takes 1 minute to set.
Oh, it takes 1 minute to set.
Okay. So, are you still gonna try this?
Well, I don't feel like I would have known
Okay, that's fair.
that it takes 1 minute to set, so I'm just kind of pulling out all the tricks that are in there.
That's okay. A bag of tricks, a bag of holding tricks. You
Yeah.
pull out the glue, you apply it to the hands and the feet, presumably sticking them together. We will say I'm just gonna roll a couple of times in a row while you like try to like. I'm assuming August would try to grapple him almost.
I'm more no, I would not.
No. Okay.
I'm not strong.
Just so you know, you get 1d6 plus 1 ounces of it. So if you want to roll for how many,
And 1 ounce
quote
can cover a
charges.
1 foot square, so we should
Yeah.
have some left.
yeah,
Oh yeah, if you're just using a dot of glue on each hand, like there's plenty left.
So he does succeed before a minute is up. But they're kind of like tacky, and he goes like, fuck you, and just Eldritch blasts you.
I still have my sword against his neck. Like I've had it there this whole time.
That's true. You know what? Make an attack. I'm not going to impose disadvantage because advantage would cancel out the disadvantage from him being prone.
right.
So this is just a normal straight roll. And because of the circumstances, I'm going to give you sneak. Well, I think you would have sneak attack bonus actually, because you don't have disadvantage, right?
I would have advantage because I'm going first. Or no, is that assassin or is that all rogues?
I
That's
think just
assassin.
Okay.
But you do have advantage because he's prone, so you don't have
Yes.
disadvantage.
Yes.
Which means I think you can technically be a swashbuckler sneak attack rules. Still get
I
the sneak
don't
attack.
think so because he has to be engaged with like another enemy within 5 feet.
No,
Well,
I
but-
think if as long as there's not other enemies engaged with you within 5 feet, then I think that's how it works.
But
For a
she does get,
swashbuckler.
but she gets advantage because he's prone, and with melee attacks, you get advantage on attacks. So there should be a sneak attack bonus.
Oh, but I'm also drunk.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You had
So-
disadvantage, but you have advantage because he's prone. And I'm pretty sure as long as you don't
have sneak attack.
Yeah, as long as you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll, and
you don't
if you are within 5 feet of it, and no other creatures are within 5 feet.
Okay.
Yeah,
of you.
yep, because Rakish Audacity.
Yep.
Hey, look at you getting to use your rogue features.
Not really. That's a 13.
13 is not gonna hit, unfortunately.
Yep.
As it skitters to the side, his Eldritch Blast shoots past you, and people begin to look out the windows as you've now created a scene.
Is this where we cut it
Yes.
off?
Then
August
that,
has created a
yep.
scene.
Yeah. Nick's
And
gotta go.
yeah, no, absolutely. So we will pick up here next time. What will happen to Breck and August? We don't know.
Ba-da-ba-boo.
But we will see you all next week, and see you next Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.